Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to 101 Ghost Stories. Thank you so much to our returning subscribers, and a warm welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. If you enjoy chilling tales of the paranormal, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on all our latest stories. Today, we're diving into the top 10 most haunted places in the United States. These locations are steeped in history, mystery, and ghostly legends that are sure to send shivers down your spine. So, sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for a journey through some of the most haunted sites in America. Sailing across the country to the sunny shores of Long Beach, California, we find our 10th haunted location, the Queen Mary. This retired ocean liner, once a luxury cruise ship and World War II troop ship, is now a floating hotel and museum. But beneath its glamorous exterior lies a history filled with tragedy and death. The Queen Mary is reputed to be one of the most haunted places in the world. The infamous Door 13 in the engine room is where a young crewman was crushed to death, and his spirit is said to still roam the area. The first-class swimming pool, now empty, is a hotspot for paranormal activity, with reports of wet footprints mysteriously appearing and the apparitions of women in 1930s bathing suits. Cabin B340 is so haunted that it is no longer rented out to guests due to numerous reports of poltergeist activity, including lights flickering, bed covers being removed, and even guests being pushed. The Queen Mary's eerie reputation attracts ghost hunters and thrill seekers from around the globe, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the ship's spectral residents. Our journey now takes us to the rolling hills of Kentucky, to one of the most notorious haunted locations in the United States, Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Built in 1910, Waverly Hills was initially designed to house tuberculosis patients during the height of the epidemic. The sanatorium could accommodate up to 400 patients, but the disease claimed countless lives, with estimates ranging from 6,000 to 63,000. The high mortality rate and the grim history have left a profound impact, turning Waverly Hills into a hotspot for paranormal activity. The Death Tunnel, or Body Chute, a 500-foot-long tunnel that was used to discreetly remove the deceased, is one of the most haunted areas. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Room 502 is another focal point for ghostly encounters. It's said that a nurse hanged herself in this room, and her spirit continues to linger. Apparitions of patients and staff, unexplained cold spots, and objects moving on their own are common occurrences throughout the sanatorium. Waverly Hills' dark history and intense paranormal activity have solidified its place as one of America's most haunted locations. Now we head west to San Jose, California, home to one of the most enigmatic and eerie structures in America, the Winchester Mystery House. This sprawling mansion, with its bewildering architecture and endless construction, has been the subject of fascination and fear for decades. The story begins with Sarah Winchester, widow of William Wirt Winchester, the heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company fortune. Following the deaths of her husband and infant daughter, Sarah consulted a medium who told her that she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. The medium advised her to move west and build a house for these restless spirits, a task she was told she must never stop. In 1884, Sarah purchased a modest farmhouse and began an elaborate and never-ending construction project. For the next 38 years, until her death in 1922, the mansion grew into a labyrinth of over 160 rooms, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 47 stairways, 13 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens. The construction was continuous, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, driven by Sarah's belief that if the work ever stopped, she would be haunted by vengeful spirits. The result is a bizarre and disorienting maze filled with architectural oddities. There are staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open onto walls, windows overlooking other rooms, and secret passages. This confusing design was intended to confuse and trap the ghosts that Sarah believed were pursuing her. The haunting of the Winchester Mystery House is as strange as its architecture. Visitors and staff have reported numerous paranormal activities. Ghostly figures are seen wandering the halls, and the sounds of phantom footsteps echo through the empty corridors. One of the most commonly cited apparitions is that of a man in white overalls, believed to be a former handyman named Clyde, who continues his work in the afterlife. Tour guides often recount the tale of a visitor who felt a tap on her shoulder only to turn around and see no one there. Cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and the feeling of being watched are frequently experienced by those who venture into the house. One particularly eerie area is the seance room, where Sarah supposedly communicated with the spirits to receive building instructions. This room has only one entrance but 3 exits, one of which leads to a 10-foot drop into the kitchen. The grand ballroom, built at great expense, was never used, yet visitors often hear the sounds of a phantom piano playing. The most famous legend is that of Sarah herself, whose spirit is said to still roam the mansion. It's believed that she continues her nightly walks, checking on the progress of her endless construction project. Haunted Place Number 7, the Amityville House, New York. Our next stop on this haunted journey takes us to a suburban neighborhood in Amityville, New York, where one of the most infamous hauntings in American history took place, the Amityville House. The story of this house at 112 Ocean Avenue has captivated and terrified people for decades, spawning books, documentaries, and films that have cemented its place in paranormal lore. The haunting begins with a horrific crime. On November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family, his parents and 4 siblings, while they slept. The brutality of the murders shocked the community, but it was what happened afterward that turned this house into a legend. In December 1975, just over a year after the murders, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children moved into the house, believing they were getting their dream home at a bargain price. However, they fled the house after just 28 days, claiming it was haunted by malevolent forces. The Lutzes reported a series of increasingly disturbing and inexplicable events. George Lutz would wake up every night at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the DeFeo murders. They heard strange noises, including banging and footsteps, and encountered foul odors that moved around the house. There were cold spots and an eerie green slime oozing from the walls and keyholes. Kathy Lutz experienced physical attacks, including unexplained welts and levitation, while their daughter, Missy, spoke of an imaginary friend named Jody, who appeared as a demonic pig with glowing red eyes. One of the most terrifying incidents was when the Lutzes found a hidden room in the basement, painted red and not on any plans of the house. They claimed this red room was the epicenter of the evil forces. The Amityville haunting quickly became a media sensation. The Lutzes' story was turned into a best-selling book, The Amityville Horror, by Jay Anson, and subsequently adapted into a successful horror film. But the authenticity of their claims has been hotly debated. Some investigators believe the hauntings were a hoax, concocted for financial gain. Others argue that the Lutzes genuinely experienced something supernatural. The Warrens, famed paranormal investigators, conducted their own investigation and declared the house to be plagued by demonic entities. Ed Warren described it as the closest to hell he had ever been. To this day, the Amityville House stands as a monument to the power of belief and the enduring allure of a good ghost story. Whether you view it as a genuine haunting or an elaborate hoax, there's no denying that the legend of the Amityville House continues to send shivers down the spine of those who dare to delve into its dark history. Haunted Place Number 6, the Bell Witch Cave, Tennessee. Next, we venture into the rural landscapes of Adams, Tennessee, to explore one of the most enduring legends of American folklore, the Bell Witch Cave. The tale of the Bell Witch haunting dates back to the early 19th century and is centered around the Bell family, who lived on a farm along the Red River. The story begins in 1817 when John Bell and his family started experiencing strange and terrifying phenomena. It began with the sighting of a peculiar creature on their property. John Bell described it as having the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit. Soon after, the family began hearing inexplicable noises, knocking on doors and walls, the sound of chains dragging across floors, and eerie whispers in the dark. The disturbances grew more intense, escalating to physical attacks. John Bell and his daughter Betsy were the primary targets. Betsy was slapped, pinched, and even had her hair pulled by an invisible force. The entity eventually revealed itself as the Bell Witch, claiming to be the